Rapinoe right foots it over the bar.
It's a tough one, and there's just some dark comedy in me missing a penalty in my last game ever. So.
In sports, there will always be a winning team and a losing team. In soccer, it's common for players to miss penalty kicks, even on the biggest stage. However, the buzz surrounding Megan Rapinoe's missed penalty kick in a defeat against Sweden seems to be a particularly significant topic of discussion. Why do you think her miss received such extensive attention? Well, this has more to do with what happened off the field than on it. Let's talk about it. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we.
More than half of the US women's national team refused to sing their anthem ahead of a World Cup game. The team are risking the ire of the American public, with critics calling them disrespectful.
Alexi Lalas claims the US women's soccer team has become unlikable after players failed to sing the national anthem at the World Cup, and says the players risk becoming irrelevant over their political stances. You see, that's the real issue here, mixing politics with sports. It's not that people dislike the sport itself, it's more about some players publicly sharing their political views on the soccer field that gets people worked up. If the national team has no respect for the flag, the national anthem, and their country, why should their countrymen support them? The foolishness. Let's take it a step further.
These are not the images we should be expecting to see from a team that survived Portugal and survived to get to the round of 16. I appreciate them taking care of the fans, but let me tell you, Carly Lloyd's butt would be back in the locker room kicking things, throwing things.
I have never witnessed, and just seeing these images for the first time right now on the desk, I have never witnessed something like that. There's a difference between being respectful of the fans and saying hello to your family, but to be dancing, to be smiling. I mean, the player of the match was that post. You're lucky to not be going home right now.
We're gonna let a lady explain why this celebration after a mediocre performance in the group stage is not appreciated and even considered disrespectful. Check this out.
This particular team has been going through lawsuits, they've been complaining and whinging for the last 4 years because they don't get equal pay with the men's team. But let's not forget, this is the same team that lost to an under-15s boys soccer club. That doesn't really sound like a professional soccer team to me who would be justified in demanding the same pay as a team who plays in the World Cup against the #1 teams in the world. It also doesn't seem like this team takes this sport very seriously, particularly this player, Megan Rapinoe.
Megan Rapinoe has become the leading face and spokesperson for the US women's soccer team's drive for equal pay. And she represented herself and the national team with arrogance, entitlement, and disrespect for the skill levels of the men's teams. So celebrating after a mediocre performance only feeds into the dislike of this team, and when you thought things couldn't get any worse, this happens.
Rapinoe right foots it over the bar.
It's a tough one, and there's just some dark comedy in me missing a penalty in my last game ever. So yeah,
because I was saying with the smile, I mean, was that just pretty much a message that that's football, that's life, things happen?
I mean, that's a sick joke. That's just like, yeah, I mean, that's a sick joke. I can't believe that. I never even hit them over ever when they're saved. So yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes.
After the missed penalty kick attempt, she displayed a complacent smile that showed arrogance and a sense of entitlement, with no respect for her teammates. She knows people are gonna come after her because she's been running her mouth for so long, and to end her career with this embarrassing shot is a big blow to her ego. Listen to this.
Is there a memory that stands out to you right now in this moment?
I mean, probably equal pay chance after the final.
Oh my goodness.
That's all well and good, but to say your greatest achievement is to do with money, I don't know. I think that rubs people up the wrong way. And I think it shows a total lack of appreciation for the country that has allowed you to be there and to play your passion out on the world stage. There's just a huge arrogance and an ungratefulness around this team, which makes it really hard to support them. And that's why they're receiving so much backlash from US fans. And then to spend years and years demanding the same pay as their male counterparts, but unable to back it up with a professional performance, it's just a little bit embarrassing.
At the end of the day, these women got paid. They are getting paid money they do not deserve. And that's why they won, because it was never about the game. It was always about the money and the attention. We just released a video about paternity fraud, and our multiple reports state that 1/3 of the signatures on birth certificates from unmarried couples do not reflect the biological father's name. Yet, these women have no problem with having these men pay child support. Says a lot about female nature. Man, that's where we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.